All right, welcome to another episode of going through the Rustlings exercises. And today we're going through the functions 5 exercise in the section of 0 to functions. And this is going to be, we'll say, an extremely easy one for us today. I think especially due to the assistance of LSPs, or the Rust Analyzer more particularly. So we have this to do, and it tells us fix the function body without changing the signature. Now, the signature is basically, you got this is part of the signature of saying what types and parameters, and also this is part of the signature of what are the output types. So basically they're telling us don't change those things, also don't change the name of the function. Pretty straightforward. And we have this error that we're being told where mismatched types expect I32 but found open close parenthesis, or in other words, the unit type. This should not change anything. We can run it. And if you're not familiar, this is in Rust the same thing as returning the unit type. The unit type is kind of like a none type in Python and a null type in some other programming languages that just means it's a value that represents not a value. None of the above. Miscellaneous, not a thing kind of bucket. Now, why is this happening, though? Because we're calculating, num times num, which is the value that we're taking in for the square function, which, naturally enough, this seems like a correct implementation. Num times num. That seems like the square to me. And the issue has to do with what Rust recognizes as the thing being returned. When you have this statement with the semicolon, Rust does not recognize that that is the thing being returned. We could try, our first approach could be num times num, and we'll return that explicitly. That still isn't quite what we want, but it is technically correct. What have we done here? The issue is that without the return statement, this is not being returned. Instead, silently, Rust will return the last expression, which implicitly is the unit type, like this. So we're back to this error where we're returning a unit type, but it expects an I32. So we were fixing it by going return num times num, but it's not considered a necessary according to the output that we're getting. That's overriding it. My mistake. We go back to return num times num. It's returning finally this I32. But it's saying that also that we didn't need the return statement. So we kind of solved the problem. The next step is to realize that Rust will, as it takes the last expression, and not what Rust considers a statement that is not an expression, which has the semicolon, and we delete that, and we just go num times num. It almost seems like we're not actually saying what we want, but in fact this should be correct, where we now have that the square of 3 is 9, because we are now returning an I32, and that is also the correct I32 of num times num. And so inside of our main code here, we're going let answer be bound to the value of whatever the square of 3 is, and then we're printing that result. Great. So we have apparently solved the problem, but it's always good to take a little peek at what the official solutions would be. So let's take a look at functions, and what is this? Functions are functions 5. So what did they do? They just simply removed the semicolon at the end of the line below to implicitly return the result. And that's also what we did. It's a very straightforward fix if you know that that's what's going wrong in the original example. All right, with that, I think we can move on to the next exercise in the next video, and I will catch you next time. Take care. Bye.